Jesus didn't die on a cross so you could have a big bank account.
Maybe you have a scripture to justify or can explain why you ain't got a comfortable life. But nowhere in there where it says you got to be poor, downtrodden, woe down, sick, tired, distraught, beat up, jagged, ragged, have the least and the less. I have not, if it's in there, I have not located it. And that's the one I'm gonna just, if it's in there, I'm gonna just let it be in there.
Well, I guess if we're going to avoid those verses, it's pretty hard to have a little conversation. Jesus himself wasn't rich. The Son of Man didn't have a home or a place to put his head. Read Philippians. Paul himself sometimes had some stuff, sometimes he didn't. I mean, when he wasn't busy being beaten and stoned and shipwrecked and thrown in jail. Besides, the history of the saints, I'm not talking about monasticism or giving up everything, where we don't think that stuff is bad. We're not Gnostics. We think it's okay to enjoy stuff. But Jesus didn't die so that we could all have a, quote, comfortable living. He died for forgiveness of sins. And depending on the zip code, the family he puts you in, some people he blesses with cash, others, no.
And I learned this from Joel Osteen. He said, this man that went to heaven, he was walking with Peter down this aisleway, and it was going down this corridor, had a lot of doors on it, and said all these doors had names on it. And he said, Peter, let me ask you something. What's all these doors, these names on? He said, don't worry about it, just go ahead. So he kept walking, and he messed around, he saw one of them doors and had his name on it. He said, whoa. He said, hey, Peter, this here ain't got my name on it. Something I need to know? He said, man, don't worry about that. You here now. Just go on in there and talk to him, see what he said, nah, I want to know what's in the door. He said, you sure you won't see what's in the door? He said, yeah. So he opened up the door. It was a warehouse. It had numbered shelves on it. And then the shelves had nothing but packages. And all the packages had his name on them. And he said, what is all these boxes? He said, that's all of the blessings, all of the things God wanted to ship to you. But number one, you didn't ask him for it. Then number two, you didn't believe you would have it. Then you doubted him. And then you felt like you wasn't worthy. And so now all these boxes is up here.
Oh, I see. In order to get stuff from God, I've got to do all of those things. Yikes, I'm exhausted from this type of preaching. Furthermore, perhaps comedian Steve Harvey could tell me how it is that there's some pagans who are filthy rich. Huh? Did they do all of those things, or is it based on God's sovereignty?
When God sends your package, he only sends it to one street. That's Faith Street. You got to stay in faith. You can't move off of Faith Street. You can't get on Doubted Drive. You can't be over there and start doubting it, because your package gonna go right on by. You can't lose your faith and get on not meant to be way, because your package is going to keep going right on by. Because the package just go to Faith Street. You can get your little feelings hurt, I ain't worthy. Guess what? Your package going to keep going right on by. You have not because you ask not. Then you sit up here and start feeling sorry for yourself. You go over on pity way, your package keep going right on by. If you stay right on Faith Street, don't ever come off, because the blessing is coming. If you wait on it, here it comes. It may not come when you want it, but it's on time. But if you get up and you move off of Faith Street, your box gonna get sent back to sender.
Whew. I'm exhausted doing all that stuff to get blessed by God. Our God is in the heavens. He does whatsoever he pleases, whether you have faith or not. And if you have been dumped on by this kind of work-righteous preaching, I am sorry. God sometimes chooses to bless physically, sometimes he does not. But I do know this, regardless of circumstance, he is with us because there are blessings that are far more valuable, like him.